The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The land's already and the joke's online. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From the high school halls to podcast cues, live a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, your show is hot. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's time for Muffman to start the show.
The job hunt doesn't start after you walk across the stage. If you're waiting to graduate to look for a job, you're already unemployed. Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murphman. I am the Murphman. I'm here with my co-host, Connor. How are we doing today, Connor?
Doing good today, Murphman. How you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. I got to tell you that. You know, before we begin the show, I do want to go over a little disclaimer here. You know, Connor and I are not experts by any means. We just talk about whatever we have experienced in our lives, our education, our experiences, and we share them from our point of view. And sometimes we get a little heated in our conversations, and sometimes a little bit of adult language might slip out. So we just want to apologize for that ahead of time, you know, but most likely it won't happen, but you never know. It might get past the editors, you know. But I got to tell you, Connor, it's the weekend before finals. You ready?
Nope.
No.
No.
You haven't been taking my advice in preparing for finals and any of that stuff, going to your teachers and studying and all that stuff?
I've been studying the material. It's just I'm not confident in myself to do well.
If you've been doing everything you're supposed to be doing throughout the semester, well, I guess not, right?
No.
Yeah. Well, the point being is you need to really make the effort to pass. It doesn't come easily, right? We've talked about this in the last episode. So if you don't pass your finals and don't pass your classes, well, we'll talk about that next week. All right. But I got to tell you, you know, it's already finals week. And I got to tell you, month of April, we do testing, the state testing with the schools. Mm-hmm. I am so glad we're done with testing. You know, we do that twice a year, and it's such a stressful situation, man. You have no idea how much stress it is for the teachers and the administrators. But I'm glad we're done with April. And I haven't talked to you about the story, but I was talking with a friend of mine this morning before we came on, and we were talking about a profile he saw on a dating app that said 420 friendly. He goes, what does that mean? And I'm just wondering, you know what 420 friendly means?
No. What's that?
420 references marijuana use.
Oh.
Now, there's the lore behind it is one of two things. Either that's the code for marijuana, which I don't think that really is, or kids will go out after high school, gets out, and they'd smoke and get high at 420. So that's where the term 420 comes from my knowledge. I don't personally know. I've never done any drugs. But I got to tell you, 420 for me is a very fun day when I was a counselor. Well, I should say I'm not a counselor anymore, but was a very fun day for me because I would go visit all my pothead clients and I'd go see them and, you know, make sure that if they did get high at lunch, they lost their buzz seeing me.
That's funny.
Yeah. And they were very friendly that day, very relaxed.
I was going to say very relaxed,
Yeah.
very calm.
So it was a really interesting day for me to go visit clients, you know.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah. You know, most of the counselors that I knew were like, I'm just not going to go visit any kids. I'm not going to bother seeing them today. I'm like, no, I made appointments to see them today, so they know I'm coming. So if they get high and they smell like weed, ooh, that's not good. And if they don't get to get high on 420, ha! That's just funny for me.
That's a douche move, but I mean,
It is. It is.
you gotta do what you gotta
It's
do.
a total D-bag move. I will agree with you 100% on that one. But I'll tell you what, I was a good counselor, and a lot of those kids stopped smoking. I had one kid who actually gave her mom her pipe for Mother's Day,
Oh,
which was a symbol of I quit smoking. And now that kid's a nurse.
oh,
Yeah. You know, we talk to each other every now and then. We bump into each other here and there, and she's a nurse and, you know, doing real good. So,
that's good.
and she actually says I helped her with a lot of stuff, so I'm glad. But let me tell you about that family, though. This is it's irrelevant to what we're talking about. But here in El Paso, a lot of people have fences before you get into the yard, right? And then they have a screen door, and then they have an actual door, right?
Yeah.
Outside fence door says, beware of dog. So I open the gate and I close it, I rattle it, and no dogs. You know, I open it, I close it, no dogs. So okay, the dog must be inside. I open the gate, I close it behind me. I start walking inside.
Mm-hmm.
The lady who answers the door sticks her head out the screen door and says, careful with the dogs. At that point, I hear roof, roof coming at me.
Oh God.
I grabbed the door, I opened it, I shoved her inside, and I closed the door behind me. And then I realized she has no idea who I am.
Oh God.
And I just stood there with my back to her, and I said, hi, I'm the counselor. I've been trying to get a hold of you, and you're not returning calls. So I thought I'd come just say hi and introduce myself to you. She says, good thing you weren't here to attack me or anything, right? I'm like, yeah. I said, we both learned a valuable lesson today. Beware of dogs means beware of dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress. Gotta tell you, 420 is one of my favorite times. And April is just one of those months. I love it. But I'm so glad it's over. And now you have your finals week. So good luck with that, dude.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
But I'll tell you what, I think it's time we ignite the fuse. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Let's do it. Raises are earned and not handed out, and your first salary is negotiated before you graduate. The job hunt is a marathon of strategy and not a sprint of apply buttons. Stop waiting for permission to start your career and start building the door today. The fuse is lit, Connor. So what do you think? Do you think applying for colleges applying for work from before graduating is important, or should you wait till after you graduate?
I would say, well, I mean, it depends. I say before because it gives you enough time to get your application through, get your resume, get interviews and all that. And then
Before summer event starts, right?
yeah,
So you can say, I'm available on this day because I finished the semester.
yeah,
If you wait till now, then you got to do the application process and you got to do the interview process, and it just doesn't work out, right?
yeah. Might as well get it done. And then when summer comes, you have all the time and
Right.
you already got the job.
Same thing with a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the internship. When do you start looking for internships? October and November of this year before.
The fall, yeah.
Yeah, the fall. Okay. So think about that as we talk about today's episode, where we talk about all the things that we have to do to look for a job before we graduate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a question for you,
What's
and
up?
that is today's burning question. The best way to ask for a job is often through a person and not a portal. Most of the hidden job market is never actually posted on a public board. So here's the question for today, Connor. What percentage of jobs are filled through referrals and networking? You have 10 to 20%, 30 to 40, 50 to 60, or over 70? What do you think?
I think, me personally, over 70% because most of the jobs people get are from either friends, family, coworkers. Well, not coworkers, like classmates, I meant to say.
Exactly.
Or someone from like a job fair in fall and all that requested you, not requested, I guess recruited
you,
that's what I meant, yeah, and to get in the job.
Yeah, so 70% is what the percentage is of jobs that are really not on the market per se, but you get filled through friends and family and whatnot.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks their B is reality because that's where they spend their time. But the resume is more likely to get read if it's handed over a desk than if uploaded into a database. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit when we talk about the digital inferno, we talk about the technology and what it takes to read a resume. And networking isn't just a nice thing to have. It's the most important part of your hunt. So I want you to think about that as we talk here, okay?
All right.
So how many jobs do you think I've had that I've had through referrals?
You've had
Well, I've had a lot of jobs.
Taco Bell, Kmart, homeless shelter,
Yeah.
community college, virtual school. I think that's it. I don't know.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah.
Well,
So then
Taco
guess
Bell
all
was
five.
through a friend.
Yeah.
Kmart I was in DECA, which is the Distributive Education Something of America. And you used to be able to get credit going to work during school. So I could get off half a day and go to work.
Oh, okay.
And you get credit for it. So you're getting graded at your job, literally get a grade for your job.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty crazy. So I got that job through DECA. And then, of course, the military I got because I was in ROTC and the recruiter showed up and I joined it, right?
Yeah.
Getting out of the military, I got a job here in El Paso as a caseworker. And then I was hired to work in the day treatment program as a supervisor. So that one wasn't referred either. But after that, I went to go apply for a job as a social worker, got hired, and then the position was canceled. Like they got notice that the grant was taken away for whatever reason.
Dang.
So they told me, you know what, Sean, we don't have the job anymore, but there's a job opening at the runaway shelter as a counselor. So guess what? I got that job. And I got a job as a teacher at college because I had a friend of mine who says, hey, you should try teaching. Right? And then the job I have now, they were looking for somebody, and it was literally the Wednesday before Christmas vacation, and you needed someone to start at the first week of the next year. And my friend was like, hey, you might want to call my friend Sean and, apply for the job and whatnot. And that's how I got this job. So more than 70% of my jobs have been referred from a friend or someone I knew or somehow, through networking or whatever the case may be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not always that easy. I'm not sitting here and saying, I'm just telling you that's the luck that I've had,
Yeah.
But it really is about who you know sometimes. It really, really is. When you think about your friends who have jobs right now, do they have any jobs in places you would want to work?
Like where they work now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. They don't interest you at all, right?
No.
But if you wanted to get a job or needed to get a job, I'm sure you could get in with one of your friends.
Yeah. Well,
Not that you would want to work there, but I'm just saying, if you were to say, hey,
maybe. It depends what job.
bail bonds. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say discount tire.
Discount Tire? Someone that works at Discount Tire?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He put our
fixed
tires on.
tires,
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And then my other friends, someone works at the commissary in Fort Bliss.
Okay. That's actually a pretty good job.
Then bail bonds. Then someone works
A waiter
bartender.
or bartender. Okay.
Food City on Gateway.
Grocery store.
And
So you have a lot of opportunities there if you chose to try to look for a job with one of your friends.
yeah.
That's where you would start, is what you're telling me,
Yeah.
right?
I would always start with my friends.
Yeah, right?
At some place that doesn't require experience, like bartending, discount tire.
Bartending requires experience.
No, but like I would look for a job that doesn't require experience.
Okay.
So I wouldn't go for like bartending or.
You could be a bar back.
I could.
You know, be the one filling the ices, the ice coolers, fill the ice coolers and stocking the beers and stuff like that. Yeah.
I could do that, but yeah.
And you never know. We're talking about referrals from friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I could get you a job at the mall working at Tapville, where they sell wine, and you're like, but I don't know a damn thing about wine.
Oh yeah, I don't know anything about wine.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I could get you a job there.
Well, it depends what they're looking for, but
No, I know. I'm telling you.
Oh,
I know I can get you a job there,
okay.
but you don't want to learn about wines.
No, I could learn. What I told you, what I said was that I didn't know anything about it. So if I want that job, they're gonna have to teach me it. Because I'm not gonna go first day and be like, oh, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I'm not 21, but I know all about wines.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah, no. That's how I'm like. If
Tequila,
you can give me the job,
different story.
Yes, but if you give me the job, and I go through with it, I'll see.
Now, not completely different subject, but speaking of tequilas, you tried one this weekend, and you were like, wow. That was a good tequila. Do you remember?
Yeah. I don't know the name, but it was sweet.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't really hit. That's why I was like, oh.
You only had one. What do you expect?
No, but like it didn't like burn.
Oh, okay.
Like it didn't hit me.
All right.
That's why I was like, is that even tequila or is it like a cinnamon shot?
Cinnamon shot burns. I don't even know if it's still out there, but have you ever heard of the cinnamon liqueur called Goldschlager? It has literal gold flakes inside of it.
Oh.
What a waste of gold, right?
Yeah.
What a waste of gold. Just swallow it and poop it out.
Okay.
Well, you think about it. That's what would happen.
Well,
I don't know if it'd get absorbed into your system.
I wouldn't think of it. It probably would like dissolve or something.
I don't think the metal would get absorbed by your body.
I think stomach acid could dissolve.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Because it's gold flakes, it's not like that hard. It's like little tiny flakes.
Yeah.
That could dissolve.
I know that.
It could deteriorate at least.
And I know that, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Now, real quick, a fact about gold. I'm going to ask you to look it up because I don't know the percentage.
Okay.
How much gold has been discovered throughout time?
Ooh.
Okay, since we're talking about gold here.
Like mined, I guess, or found.
Right.
Let's see. 216 to 244,000 metric tons of gold have been found.
Okay, and then the next question is, what is the possible available gold left? Unmined.
What do you mean unmined?
Yeah, unmined.
Oh. Of gold. Available. Unmined. I can't spell. 50,000 to 64,000 metric tons.
So we're almost at the whole amount left. Do you think about that? That's why gold is getting more expensive day by day, because it's going to become scarer and scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Scarier. More scarce. God, couldn't say the word. More scarce. Okay. So that's why prices are going up. Okay, so I don't know. I watch Gold Rush. What can I say?
Yeah, you do.
But anyway, I'll tell you what. Let's get back to the show, and let's talk about today's hot take. Value is the only relevant metric here. Your time is your most valuable asset. A digital form is a black hole where your potential goes to be ignored. The online job application form is where careers go to die. Spending hours on job boards is a waste of your time. Your time is better spent on an informational interview. Again, doing everything online, you don't have any of those interactions or anything where you have a chance to actually go and interview for a job, right? So, I can tell you, I've applied for several jobs online. And I've gotten called about a few of them. But having my resume on LinkedIn has given me probably the most leads of potential positions. So you got to make sure your resume is always up to date on LinkedIn.
And does everybody check LinkedIn, or is it just like older people?
No, that's become the standard.
Really?
Yeah. It's become the standard because LinkedIn is an app that everyone can use, and you can search for jobs there. You can search for applicants. You can search for, for example, if you want to learn more about the gold market, you can look up jewelers, and you can network with them.
Yeah.
So that's what LinkedIn does. Okay, it really links you with everybody. But applying online isn't a good use of your time, and that's primarily because the systems that read your resumes. Remember we talked about this when you're setting your resume up. You want to make sure you have all those keywords. If you don't have the right keywords, it kicks your resume out. Period. Doesn't even get to the person that needs to see it. You could be the best candidate, and you don't even have a chance for the job.
That's crazy.
It is. So that's why networking is so important. And it's really cool if, for example, if you're a teacher, right? And you teach math. Every school district needs math teachers. So all you got to do is tell your friends, hey, you guys looking for a math teacher? If you are, let me know. And literally that's how you get in the door. Okay. Science, all the core classes, science, English, math. There's those teachers. Well, there's teachers needed for everything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. And networking is probably the most important thing instead of going online and trying to do applications. But I can tell you, the job search can be very stressful and cause a lot of anxiety. And we can talk about that when we come back from our break.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
According to the VA's suicide data report, an average of 22 veterans die by suicide every single day. This figure is a sobering reality and a crisis that demands our immediate attention and compassion. We must recognize and address the fact that every 24 hours, 22 veterans are losing their lives to suicide. The war doesn't always end when our veterans come home. The invisible wounds they carry, wounds that are real and heavy, require continuous support. No veteran should have to carry this burden alone. Many veterans experience stress and disconnection as they navigate life after service. But there is hope, there is help, and you are not alone in this fight. There's a vibrant community ready to support you, offering friendship, understanding, and shared experiences. You served your country, now let us serve you. Don't fight the toughest battle in silence. Your mission now is to reach out. Dial 988, then press 1. Text them at 838255. The Veterans Crisis Line is available 24/7. Every day, we save lives. Your life is invaluable, and your service is honored. Let's work together to make 22-0 again. No veteran should face their struggles alone. Together, we can ensure every veteran finds the support and hope they deserve.
He gets help, but he still feels off. Season out on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything 22-0 again.
That's right. You are not alone. Please get help. Someone will be there to listen to you. But as I said before the break, it can be very stressful looking for a job. And I think we need to get some terms out there so we can understand what we're talking about the rest of the episode, Connor. So how about we lay down the coals?
Sounds amazing.
Job search strategy. A data-driven plan for tracking leads and follow-ups and not just a random spray and pray. Tailored application, a marketing document built for one specific person and one specific problem. And your elevator pitch, a 30-second narrative that proves you have the value to solve a company's biggest headache. So let's talk about those terms real quick, Connor. The job search strategy, a data-driven plan for tracking leads. So what does that mean, a data-driven plan? Well, if I wanted to look for a job as a cook, right? Well, there's a lot of jobs as cooks. But if I was looking for a job as a manager, there's less jobs, right? If there's a regional position, I want to be in charge of, say, the entire state of Texas and New Mexico and Oklahoma.
Oh.
That would not work as well, right?
Yeah.
So you really need to know what positions are available at the level you want to be at. So looking ahead, you can say, what jobs do you think are going to be needed in the future? I used to say doctors, nurses, those kind of jobs will never be replaced by anything. You're needed forever. But now we have AI that's asking you questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Do you know what an algorithm is? Just a generic algorithm, not a TikTok or YouTube or anything. Just an algorithm.
Well, I mean, like a data sheet now.
More specific. Tell me. I want to make sure you understand what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, an algorithm is the... How can I word it? Literally, it's a data sheet. I mean, I can't really explain it.
Okay, what kind of data is on a data sheet?
Well, any data that the algorithm's going for. That's why
you can't use the definition in the definition.
You can't really explain an algorithm without a topic.
Yeah, you can. I'm going to show you.
Okay, go ahead.
An algorithm is a questionable process where you ask a question and based on the answer will determine the next question you ask. For example, if you have a cough, what's the first thing I need to ask you? How long have you had the cough for? If it's less than a day, it just started. If it's more than a week, 2 different kind of treatment plans automatically, right?
Yeah.
If I tell you, what computer do you have? Because you're calling in for tech support. First question asked is, what kind of computer do you have? Mac or Windows or PC, right? Android or iPhone. So as you ask the data, the response you give determines the next set of questions. If you tell me the first question is, I have an iPhone, I'm going to totally disregard anything that has to do with Android.
Okay.
Because that half of the data is gone.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So you're saying algorithms are...
a decision-making process.
Well, I wouldn't say process. It's the results of the decision-making process. Because the algorithm is the final result of everything.
No, the algorithm is how you get to the result.
No, that would be
the algorithm
series of questions.
Like the series of questions is your algorithm. Say yes, no, up, down, left, right. Boom. This is your problem.
And that would be a flowchart, technically.
Okay. An algorithm is a flowchart. That's a perfect. That's a perfect example.
I wouldn't say an algorithm is like a flowchart.
It is. If you want to think about TikTok, okay, or any kind of social media, based on what you like, based on how many views, how long you watch a video, how many different things you watch, the next video is going to be based on that algorithm. So if you've seen this video for this long, for this many times, this is going to be added to your feed. Okay. But anyway, why is the algorithm important? Well, when you start looking for a job, you need to know what jobs are out there and what your job can be. For example, you can go to college and get 1 year of college under your belt. That by itself doesn't qualify you for a job, right? But when you apply for a job and you go somewhere, you're going to say, hey, I already have 1 year of experience in college. That's more than someone who hasn't been to college. So when you're doing the algorithm, you say, okay, what kind of job is more than minimum wage, but doesn't require that much experience because you already have some college under you. So, you see what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the data-driven part of it. And the tailored application is a marketing document built for one specific person and one specific problem. That is basically your resume if you think about it. Your resume should target the job you want. Okay? I was a counselor and a college professor. Those are my two jobs that I've had the last half of my life, right? So could I go and say I want to be a cook? I have no experience in that.
Yeah.
Right? Could I say I want to be a restaurant manager? I know a lot about food. I eat out a lot. Doesn't mean I know how to run a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Or a bar or whatever the case may be. So when you have that application, make sure it's targeted to what you want to do and what you can do. And the last question is the elevator pitch. 30-second narrative that proves you have the value to solve a company's biggest headache. An elevator pitch is basically, I get in the elevator with you and I have 30 seconds to a minute to tell you why you should hire me. Bottom line, right? Why should you hire me as this or that? And real simple, you know, when I applied at the runaway shelter, like I told you, I got referred to that job for counseling. And my boss looked at my resume and, you know, she was like, okay, this is something that I think we can do. You know, let me interview this guy. So she already had looked at my resume. She already had heard the interview from her coworker. So she sits me down. She goes, why do you want to work with kids? And my first answer was, I don't want to work with kids.
Uh-oh.
And she was like, excuse me? And I said, yeah, the program I was going to be working with was 17 to 21-year-olds who had kids, but the program was to help those adults transition from the shelter to the living on their own. It wasn't even really counseling. It was more social work. And she says, so why are you here? Honestly, that's how the interview went, okay? And I said very simply, I said, you know, I do believe that things happen for a reason, and I'm a good counselor. And I can tell you with my life experience, I can help these kids. But I also know that those kids were me when I was a teenager, and they don't want the help. That's why I say I don't want to work here. I will tell you what, though. You hire me, I promise you won't regret hiring me. And that was pretty much the interview.
Oh.
Now, she didn't offer me the job right away.
Oh.
You know, we talked a little bit more about who moved my cheese and stuff like that.
Oh, of course.
I said, your cheese moved. And she's like, oh, you like that book? I'm like, yes, my cheese moved. We talked about that a little bit and, you know, a few other things, but it wasn't really an interview per se.
It was just like talking.
Yeah. And, but the way my interview started was, why do you want to work with kids? And my elevator pitch was, I don't.
Damn, I thought she would like call it quits there and be like, all right, next.
Well, but I said, let me explain to you why. And that elevator pitch was, I don't want to work with kids because they're as screwed up as I was as a kid. They're not going to be easy to work with. And I can tell you right now, when kids have issues, like the defiant kids and the kids who are always fighting with their parents and everything, those were some very difficult cases for me. You know, and I would always go for her for advice. And I was there 16 years, and she would always say, God, it's been 16 years. I'm still triggered by it. You know? So it's crazy, but your elevator pitch can sometimes get you a job. When I applied for the job I'm at now, the person who hired me says, here's what the job is. And she says, You have the same experience I have coming into this position. I was a college professor, never taught in high school or anything like that. And I took this job. She says, why do you think you'd be good at this position? I said, because I can do anything. I set my mind to. And if I need to, I'm a substitute. So whatever I'm doing at that moment, I put myself 100% into it. That's my elevator pitch. Okay?
Okay.
So keep that in mind when you're looking for a job. You want to have that short explanation of why they should hire you. Give me a job. I don't know, something you might be interested in besides cybersecurity. Just a job.
Movies.
Okay.
If I could. Yeah.
All right. So if I were to ask you, why do you want to work at the movies?
It's an easy flow job. You go from one movie theater to the other. You have a whole set list of all the times the movies end, so you can make a schedule out of that.
Well, because you have friends in the position, you have some experience there.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying, give your pitch to, so you don't know why they should hire you. You don't know anything about the job.
Oh. It's an easy first job.
You don't know that because you haven't worked there yet. When I worked at Kmart, my job was to push carts. Is that an easy job?
Yeah.
Try doing that in the rain, the snow, the wind, the heat, pushing more than 5-10 carts at a time through a parking lot. We didn't have the machines to push the carts. We had to push them ourselves. We had to dress in khakis, so we had to dress in pants. We couldn't wear jeans.
Well, isn't khakis technically jeans,
No.
just a different material?
No. They're different. Dress pants versus jeans, very different.
Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't call khakis dress pants.
Khakis are more the color of the pants, but yeah.
Oh, but
So just because it's an easy job doesn't mean it's easy. So you can't sit here and tell me it's an easy job because you have no idea what the job is.
well, I mean, I assume from what I've seen when I go to the movies,
Right. So
I'm like, that looks easy. I could do that with no challenge.
but that's not going to make you stand out from anybody.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to say then?
Well, that's the point. You have to have something to say when you go for the job. For example, I know it's a job that requires being on time and on a schedule, and I'm really good at that. I'm able to follow a schedule. I'm able to follow a list of tasks that I have to complete at a time. So I'm pretty sure here it's something like that, like you have to do certain things. And I like movies. So when someone asks me about movies, I love to talk about them. Oh, okay, What experience do you have behind a cashier? None, but I can count money when I'm paying for bills. Right? What do you know about making popcorn or selling? Nothing. Right? Because you don't. And that's the whole point about an entry-level job. They have to teach you all that. So saying the job is easy, we don't know. You say the skills you have that can be used in that kind of job that you think might be used in that job. If you actually do a research nowadays, you can actually find out what is required in the job description. They'll say, you're able to mop floors. Yep, I can mop floors. Vacuum. I can vacuum. I do that at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. But I'll tell you what. Enough talking about us. I say we got to hear the story about Carlos, and let's hear our story from the fire today. I want you to think about Carlos. He refused to spend his senior year stressed out about what comes next. He used a search tracker and a polished pitch to stay 3 steps ahead of his competition. The result of his discipline was he landed a job after... I'm sorry. Let me do that again. Pick the time for story from the fire. All right, think about Carlos, who refused to spend his senior year stressed out about what comes next. He used a search tracker and a polished pitch to stay 3 steps ahead of his competition. And the result of his discipline when he landed an offer weeks before his final exams. Because we talked about that. If you wait until after you graduate, you're too late, you're unemployed. So Carlos looked for his job before he graduated. And that's the most important thing. And, going back to a seasonal job, you want to look for it before September, if possible, because they're going to start hiring you in October. And what's so important about that is as you look for seasonal jobs, right, you got to go before the season even starts. You cannot go during the. Well, I guess you could go during the season, but your chances of getting a job are small or shorter, or minimal, whatever the term is. What is it, smaller?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wait till the last minute to go apply for a job, you're not going to have that many opportunities. Now, could you get hired and work from October to, like, say, February or January? I mean, not February or March?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even stop in January after the holidays, 3 months. That's what seasonal jobs are. Summer, 2 months. Right?
Yeah.
So
2 to 3 months, yeah.
think about that when you do seasonal jobs. You got to get in there before the season even starts. And yeah, I got to tell you, when I went to work at Kmart, I went in, started the school semester there, right? Summer was there, whatever. I joined the military. I had to leave, and I went to training. When I came back, I wasn't looking for a job. And I went back to Kmart because, that's where we would shop. It was like our Walmart back then, right?
Yeah.
And the manager saw me and goes, "Hey, you looking for a job?" I said, "Not really. Summer's coming, right? I'm not, are you looking for seasonal?" I told him. He goes, "No, we'd like to hire you. If you're interested in hiring, in getting hired, we'd hire you full time." Well, let me rephrase that. Not full time, part time, but not seasonal.
Yeah, and instead of just doing that one part, like a full job.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Even though it's part time, but yeah.
Well, I meant like instead of like a trial, technically, that's what I would call seasonal, is like a
Yeah, it could be considered a trial
pre-run, I guess.
Because if people quit, you're there and you might get the job. But
yeah, but
I wasn't looking for seasonal stuff. I told them, I want a job that's going to be around after summer, and I ended up working there in a year and a half afterwards.
Okay,
but I became a cashier, and I got to tell you the story about being a cashier. That you have to balance out, right? Meaning, they do your till at the end of the night, and they calculate how much you're over, you're short.
Yeah.
I was never balanced. I was either always short or over.
Everybody is gonna be either short or higher. Rarely you'll see people. Rarely you'll see people with exact change.
You're right.
That
scares me.
It scares me also. It's happened to me before where I had it high, and they thought I was like taking money from the customers.
Well, how high were you? Like $50, right?
No, one time I was like 10.
Yeah, well,
like max. I was like, oh.
I'm talking about $1 in change, here and there.
I'm talking about 10.
No, that's
it's because people that day, they were like, keep the change. I'm like, okay. So I just left it in there.
The pennies add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, 10?
Yeah.
Rarely I've been short, because I'm always on that. But it's weird because...
Yeah, when someone says keep the change, you're going to be over. Yeah. I agree with you on that. So you shouldn't be short. Could you be over? Okay, that's acceptable in my opinion.
But you can never be short.
There's
no way you can be short.
You should never be short.
It's surprised.
I was either short or over, mostly over.
Yeah.
Until the final week I was there. I balanced out 0. And my boss was like, "You could have been doing this all along." I'm like, I don't know, dude. It just, I'm great with numbers, just not, I don't know.
I don't know how people could be, like, let's say, because this has happened to me before. All card transactions, no cash, and yet I was still over.
Tips? You're over? I don't understand.
I don't know either. That's what I'm like.
That's funny.
Somehow I was over, even though I did like exact change on everything or did card. Never went upgraded, never downgraded, never nothing. Never had a manager come in and like
void
something. Yeah. I mean, I've had that happen, but like those days. And yeah, I was still over.
In my day, before we had credit card machines, we had to get a credit card. We had to get a carbon copy of it, and we had to verify your driver's license, your date of birth. You had to write all. It was horrible. So there was a lot of opportunities for mistakes, and then you had to open up a book that said it had all the credit card numbers by number, and you had to see if it was reported stolen that week.
Oh God!
So the people who stole credit cards had a week to use them before they got caught. Yeah, I mean that's how it used to be. We also had, if we had to void a transaction, they had to void the entire thing, and then you had to like keep a receipt and it was horrible. The system did not keep track of anything. You had to do it all by paper. I did not have scanners. I had to know all the prices of the items. They had little stickers with prices on them. And if it didn't have a sticker, I'd have to call for a price lookup. And I'd say, housewares, price lookup on register 9. They'd have to walk over to register 9, find the item, and then go back to the department, find the item, come back and tell me that's how much it costs.
Oh, God.
Or, yes, this is on sale, that's not on sale, whatever the case may be. We didn't have a system. When the scanners came in, it was so much easier. But
True.
The price lookups are horrible. That's how it used to be. Yeah. I'd rather do carts any day sometimes. Oh, my God. Kmart was a fun experience, though, man. Nowadays you don't have to do that kind of stuff anymore. But talking about things we can do, I think it's time we talk about the nitty-gritty and those actionable steps we can take to help us find that job a lot easier in today's heat map. All right, the first thing you want to do is have a target identification. Stop saying you want a job and start naming the specific industry and role you want to dominate. Because once you know what you want to do, then you can start training yourself and start looking for that job specifically. The search tracker. Use a spreadsheet to manage your network contacts and interview dates and follow-up deadlines. What does it mean by following up? Any idea what that means?
Follow-up dates. Like, I don't know. I mean, appointments, I'd be like another follow-up as in like a next visit or something.
Okay, but if you do a job interview, you should send them a thank you letter or thank you email. A couple days, the next day, thank you for taking the time to see me. I look forward to hearing from you. Or I really enjoyed the interview. It was very entertaining, or it was very telling. It taught me a lot about myself. Whatever the case you want to be. Or you could say, just thanks for taking the time and hopefully I hear it from you. Real simple.
Yeah.
But you want to follow up with every interview you get. It's like someone sends you a letter saying, we're not interested in your, or the position has been filled. You can still write back and say, well, thank you for taking the time to consider me. Even if you weren't considered. Right. Now, I will tell you one time I got not a resume. I can tell you one time I got a letter saying, would you be willing to evaluate our hiring process? And I said, in the email, right? I said, yeah, I will. Let me tell you what happened. I applied for a job, never got called, never got an email, never got interviewed, nothing. And they want to know what I thought of the hiring process.
What did you think?
I told them I never even got called. How can I even talk about the hiring process? Did I get the job and didn't know it? That was my response.
And what did they say back?
Well, they didn't reply.
Oh.
But it was so funny, dude. Like, they sent me a survey of how the hiring process works. Like, I was hired. Is that just so stupid or what, dude?
Yeah.
So every now and then when you go to a job interview, you might realize that's not the company you want to work for. I had a job interview with a company I worked for. I eventually ended up working for, but the department I interviewed at, her first question to me, Connor, was, have you ever been told you gossip too much?
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the first thing you're worried about when you hire an employee,
then there's drama.
Right. And that's exactly what I said. If that's the first question you got to ask someone, I don't want to work here.
I want to work there.
I
love drama. I would love that job.
Llama drama.
What is that?
No.
What?
You never seen that?
No. You look so.
Look up drama llama.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, hey, this is not something I want to do. I don't want to be here for this interview. Please disregard my resume. I'm sorry. I don't even want to continue this conversation. Thank you very much for your time. I got up and walked out of the interview. And when I came out, the secretary was like, that was fast. I said, yeah. I said, I won't be working here. And I just kept walking.
Oh.
So if there was anyone else in the lobby that was looking for a job, I wonder how many of them left after me.
Highly doubt a lot of people stayed.
Well, if they need the job, right? I needed the job, but I was not going to
work there.
Yeah. And remember I told you a couple weeks ago that job where I was the higher producing person in the company? That was the company.
Oh.
I was on a better team. Yeah. And different department. One was mental health and one had for mental retardation. So I was working with the mental health side, and that was a much better side to work with. Anyway, I'll tell you what, let's take a break and we'll come back after the break.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Staring out this hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. They say it's all inside, heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try. Tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Step outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen
on the break, I was showing Connor the drama llama. What'd you think of that, Connor? I know it's stupid.
Yeah, it was.
But now
stupid.
you know where I was like doing the
I've
hand gestures, fish.
never seen that at all. That looked like a 2015 Vine or something that Vine would do, like one of those musically hand gestures dance things.
I don't even know when that was. I just know drama llama. Mentally disturbed llama.
I don't think it was called drama llama.
No, but
it
it's
was just
mentally disturbed llama, drama llama. You know, that's
mentally llama disturbed.
Fish.
Yeah, that made no sense at all. I wonder where that's from.
Have you ever seen the handshakes where the turtle, the deer,
Yeah.
That's all part of the same.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah, it's all part of the same thing, man.
Like sandwich, jellyfish, turkey, soccer ball.
Now, those of you who are watching this episode going, what is he talking about? Look up sandwich handshake.
Or just look up different ways to do handshake. Like funny handshake.
Fish.
Okay, not fish. Oh, God. Oh, God.
That, dude, the stuff I see on TikTok is just so stupid. The algorithm. You see one stupid thing, you're going to see another stupid thing. Just like don't mention who the video was for, but that stupid video you made me listen to the song on my feed, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. Don't ever let someone look for something on your feed. Anyway, welcome back. You know, we talked about the heat map, those actionable steps you can take, but you know, sometimes you're not going to succeed. You're going to have some pitfalls. So let's talk about that in our segment called Where You're Going to Get Burned. All right, the quality trap. Applying to 100 jobs generically is far less effective than applying to 5 jobs strategically. All right. The generic resume is your resume looks like everyone else's. Don't be surprised when it gets treated like everyone else's. Ignored. You know, in the old days before computers, we used to have resumes, and you would buy certain kind of paper for resumes, like thicker paper, heavier weight. But you also had people that would like put it on like a neon green, neon pink, so it would stand out from all the other resumes.
Well, that doesn't look professional though, no?
That's the thing. That's how it was back then. You want to stand out because you literally look at pieces of paper, they're all the same. Then you see one green one, it's going to get your attention, right? And you're going to pull it out. And when I would look at paper, it's expensive paper compared to regular ream of paper. But there's linen paper, and it actually has a different feel to it because it's actually made of linen, like money. You know, and little things like that would make a difference on your resume. You know.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
And then, of course, the waiting game. If you're waiting for the perfect job to appear, you're going to be left waiting a long time while the good ones pass you by. You cannot sit here and say, oh, you know, I don't want to take that job right now because I'm waiting for this other job. And if I get that one, you know, how would you feel if you were a boss and someone told you that? But what would you prefer? Okay. I've had a job interview and I've told the person, you know, I'm here to do the interview, and when can you start? And I'm like, well, right now, you know, at least 2 weeks. I want to give my 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
Right. And then in that 2 weeks, I get a call from another job that I was interviewing for, and I get offered the job. And I have to call that person that hired me and say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to take that job because I got offered a job that pays me $10,000 more. Give them a reason why you're leaving, right?
Yeah.
But what was funny was I already had my 2-week resignation put in. So when the new job hired me, they're like, how long can you, 2-3 weeks before you can start? Actually, I can start next week because I already quit. They're like, oh, right on. So, yeah. You know.
Isn't 2 week notice supposed to be you worked the last 2 weeks?
Right. But I already turned in my 2-week notice for the job that I got hired in. And then And at that time, I got a call from another job that would pay me $10,000 more.
Oh.
So I took that job, but I already had resigned, so I didn't have to put in more time.
Well, but even then, you're supposed to do your 2 weeks, and then they figure it out, and then...
I did. I put my 2 weeks in. I did my 2 weeks. But I didn't have to wait 2 more weeks for the new job because I already had a resignation put in for the last job.
Okay, I thought you meant like you did it, and then like the first week they called you, and then you're like, I could go now.
Yeah, no, I was already at the end of my 2 weeks.
Okay. That makes more sense.
And I felt so bad for that new person hiring me. I really did, because they already had offered me the job and everything. I was like, God.
I know, they're ready for you.
But I had my job. It's $10,000 is a lot of money, dude.
I was going to say, you got the money.
You know, getting paid, right? Making bank.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. So you don't want to be waiting around for the perfect job, but you also don't want to just take any job either. And if you do a proper research of the job market, you're going to find a job that fits you better than others. All right? You know me, I've done a lot of jobs over my life, stuff that doesn't even go on my resume, such as Geeks Who Drink, doing the pub quizzes, right? That doesn't go on my resume or anything. I don't even know why, right?
Well, it was like a part-time gig. It wasn't really like a job. It was like a hobby at that point.
Well, it was a job because I was working every week for, like, every Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, I'd call it a side gig because...
Well, it was a side hustle, but it was a job. I couldn't just, like, say I'm not going to work today. I had to find a substitute and everything. You know, well, yeah, but again, I couldn't just not show up. I had to, like, have a sub and everything. But the point I'm making is I've had jobs just because I've met people and I've been curious about trying different things. You know, the Geeks Who Drink, I was looking for a job that was part-time. I applied and I got the job. You know, it was fun. Then I started the podcast. I'm like, I don't have time for that anymore. You know, I'm thinking about going back. If they'll have me, I would love to go back. You know,
I highly doubt it.
No, they'll take me back. I was good at what I did there. You know,
but the places that you did it at,
they're not there anymore. I'd go to a new place.
If there's even any new places for you to go.
That's the thing, there is. And I know that. Again, we talk about knowing people. I kept in touch with people from there. And they told me they've had a lot of new places. So that's really cool. You know, anyway. You know, try things. You know, you may not like it, go to another job. You know, that's the job market, you know. Yeah. Find one till you're happy. Because you're doing a job that you're not really trained to do. You're just looking for a job. But if you're in college and you're trying to get a job that's related to your degree, that's where your internship comes in and more targeted job searches, right? Mm-hmm. So those are some of the pitfalls that we'll have in, you know, when we're trying to do this. But I'll tell you what, how about we talk about those heat shields to prevent us from getting burned? All right. The internal referral focus. Dedicate or allocate 70% of your energy to talking to humans rather than clicking on buttons. Pound the pavement. Get out there and work to look for a job. Looking for a job should be a full-time job if you don't have one. Okay? The networking shield. Build a wall of professional contacts who can advocate for you when the automated system says no. You know, if I want to play for a job, I'm not really 100% qualified for it, but you know you can do the job. If you have friends in that job, they can go to the boss and go, you know, this guy may not have the exact qualifications, but I can tell you he's a really good employee, right? Yeah. And of course, you have the value anchor. Know your story so well that no interview pressure can shake your confidence. I can tell you, I've been to so many interviews, Connor, that there was one interview I went into, and I've told you the story, but there's one interview I went into, and the first question they asked me if I paid attention to detail. I said, yeah, I am. And he goes, so why did you give us a application or resume with a different job title? And I looked at him and I said, that's because when I submitted it, I clicked on the wrong link, but the resume that I handed out here has the correct information. And he said, how can you be expected to attention to detail when you miss that? I was like, because I'm human, I make mistakes. I didn't get the job. I wonder why, right?
I wonder why.
But I was like, yeah, I screwed up. I'm going to own that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to own it. As you look at this, right, allocate your time to spend with people and not online. You want to go out to job fairs. You want to pound the pavement. You want to go out to even like health fairs. If there's like, if you're in the medical field and you want to go work at clinics and stuff, go to health fairs and meet people. You never know when they're going to hire. Go out to health fairs and you never know when they're going to hire. Okay. And of course, know your story so that no interview will throw you off. Because I can tell you, it's pretty stressful being in a job interview. It really is.
Yeah, tell me about it.
What's really weird is when you go in for a job interview and you know the people interviewing you.
Ooh, like what, a friend or?
Yeah, like people I've worked with.
Worked with?
Yeah.
Like before?
No, like when I was in the school, I had one department, they worked in another department, in a completely different agency altogether.
Yeah.
Like I was a counselor at the runaway shelter, but I worked at the schools. Yeah, I decided to apply for a job, and the people at the schools were hiring, and they'd go into the interview.
Oh, wow. Would you get the jobs then?
No, well, I applied for one job 3 times. And the first time I didn't get it for whatever reason. The second time, they hired the doctorate candidate, remember?
Yeah. Someone with a PhD, yeah.
The third time I went in to the interview, and I wasn't feeling it by that point. I just horrible interview. I was like, I've been here twice. I should have had it the last time. You should have hired me. And I basically went in there to tell them that.
Oh, and then what, you just left?
No, I mean, I did the whole interview, but the message was, yeah, I've applied for this job twice before. And the last time I think I should have had it. I said, so I'm here again to try. And,
Third time's a charm?
No, they could tell by my interview was very different than the first 2 because I did not want to be there. I think I deserved it before, and even my friend asked me, like, why'd you apply? I'm like, because I want this job, dude. And he goes, we should have hired you. I'm like, I know. Now, after so many times, I don't want to be the one that gets hired after 3 times, dude. Like, no. That, oh, you've applied so many times. No. I was like, so I took the interview just because I need the interview experience.
Yeah.
And I was hoping they'd offer me the job, and I would be like, you know what? No, I don't want it. But yeah, my friend was like, we're not even going to bother hiring you. And I know. I didn't expect to.
Oh.
But so being there with friends sometimes is nice and sometimes it's not. But again, know your story and why you want the job. That's the most important. If you go into like a job like I did, why do you want to work here? And I don't. It wasn't because I didn't know what I was getting into.
You just knew.
I wasn't excited about that job because I wanted the other job. And I was a counselor and I was good at what I did. Like I told her, and I ended up working there 16 years. So what can I say?
Did you miss that job?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course I did. But I was grieving your mom, and I really didn't give a damn about anything at that point.
Well, I mean, now that it's like been 10 years.
Oh, I still miss it. Are you kidding? I still miss it.
Would you go back just to see them? Like, would you go and just drive up there?
Well,
if they're even still working?
Like my boss and no, they're not working there anymore.
Oh, that's right.
My boss and my secretary moved on, right? Now, my boss, if I were to call her and tell her I want to work where she's working, I probably could get a job with her and making pretty good money. But I don't want to do her job.
What's her job?
She works at the refugee resettlement. Migrants. No, not right now.
Not in this time.
Well, at least maybe she's retired already. I haven't talked to her in forever. I wanted to reach out to her and tell her what I'm doing now. I just haven't.
Yeah.
But as we talk about all this stuff, like I said, we have the heat shields and they'll prevent you from getting burned, those pitfalls, the map with the actionable steps and everything. But I think it's time we look back on what we learned today and ask ourselves those questions in the afterburn. Reflect on your value. What kind of work actually energizes you to show up at 100%? what kind of work would you put all your effort into, Connor? If you were hired as a waiter, that might be something you might or might not like, right?
A waiter.
But a bartender, I think you'd like that one more than a waiter. I don't know. I'm just saying, you would put more energy into what kind of job?
Bartender, I would say.
What about IT tech?
Well, still more energy in bartender because, I mean, music, making drinks, I mean.
Interacting with people, right?
Getting tips. Instead of, like, sitting at a computer all day, I'd rather prefer bartender.
And Googling all your questions.
And I can make my own drinks. Like, are we serious?
Well, not while you're working, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you could. Some bars allow bartenders to make their own drinks. If it gets popularity,
I would not recommend drinking on the job, Connor. Just I don't care if it's part of the culture.
Not drinking on the job. I never said drinking on the job.
You said as a bartender, you make your own drinks. I said, not while you're working. You said, yeah.
No, like you make your own drinks.
Oh, you mean design, like create?
You create your own drinks.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. I have my roofie drink that I call the roofie.
Okay, I wouldn't call it the roofie.
No, but you know why I call it the roofie?
Why?
All right. Pay attention to this recipe. All right, put the camera on me real quick.
I was gonna say, let me do that real quick.
All right.
Ahead.
So we're talking about creating a drink. I have a drink I call the roofie. It is a 2-liter bottle of pineapple soda.
God dang, dude.
A pint or a quart or whatever, the big jug of pineapple sherbet, and coconut rum.
That's a sweet.
It's a very sweet drink. So what ends up happening is everyone chugs it and they get drunk so fast they pass out. That's why I call it the roofie. And the first time I tried it, or I made it, all of my friends were at the party and we drank it, right? Except one guy who was having to leave soon. He goes, I don't want to drink. Connor, he was sitting there on his couch. All of us passed out at the same time. I don't mean like at the same second, but within a few minutes of each other, we were all passing out.
Oh, God.
And we woke up maybe 10, 15 minutes later. And he says, I sat there asking myself, did he just kill everybody? Right? So I made the drink again for your uncle's 30th birthday. Or 40th birthday, 30th birthday.
20 years ago?
No, it might have been.
Because they just had their 50th.
Maybe their 40th. Anyway.
Was it before I was born?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But the thing was...
Was it before Mom?
No, it was with your mom.
Oh, well then 10 years.
Oh, at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So it would be their 30. It would be their 30. Anyway.
Then that's 20.
Neither here nor there. The party was going too long. And I needed to go to bed. I was tired. I didn't want to do it. So I made my drinks and I passed them out to everybody. Within 10 minutes, everyone was like, oh, man, we got to go home. We're getting tired. The party was over that fast.
So if you want a party to end, make that drink.
Make the roofie. And I don't mean drug roofie.
I was going to say, please stop calling it a roofie.
No, but that's what I call it because it literally knocks everyone out. It's crazy. All right. And then another question you want to ask yourself is, what is the core to my story and can I tell it in a way that makes a stranger want to hire me? You know, even saying I don't want to work with kids got me hired.
And yet the whole point of that job
was working with kids.
Yeah.
And that was good. Like I said, at some point I can say I was probably one of the most referred people in the city for kids. So I can say I did pretty good at that.
That's good.
And the last question you want to ask yourself is, who in my circle is already where I want to be? And have I asked them for a 15-minute coffee yet? Now, that's the first time I mentioned 15-minute coffee, Connor. So what?
I was going to say.
What do you think that is?
A little, let me see. I don't know, just to get to know them, I guess. Like, sit down, have a nice coffee with the person you want to get to know.
Dedicate time to them.
Yeah.
And get to know you.
But
and get a chance to talk to them about yourself so that they know what you can do.
Yeah. But why 15 minutes? Why not like 30?
Because
or an hour break.
You know, because if your friends don't have a lot of time, you just bump into them somewhere. Hey, give me an elevator pitch, 30 seconds. It's about just a little bit of time, just enough to say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Here's what I'd like to do, and let me know that. Do you remember the take a lawyer to lunch?
Yeah.
Same concept, except not as expensive.
Not a lawyer. Yeah.
All right.
Not someone that could get you out of legal trouble.
Right. So think about those questions, and I want to jump into the digital inferno, where we talk about the technology of how you do this. We'll be right back after this break.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Wonder what was going on inside the man in black's mind. Was he missing June? Was he thinking back when that picture was snapped? Was he wishing he could hold her? Did he know his life was over? The day that camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. Lines alive there on his face, show hard living and show grace. A story told in shades of black. Was he whispering a prayer through that cold and lonesome glare? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash. The lines alive there on his face, show hard living and show grace. A story told in shades of black. Was he whispering a prayer through that cold and lonesome glare? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. Wonder what was going on inside the man in black's mind. The day old Marty flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash.
All right, welcome back from break, you guys. Here is our digital inferno. The LinkedIn alumni search. Filter for graduates from your school and find the warm leads that lead to referrals. You can literally say, I want to know someone who's gone to school, graduated this year. And that's who you got. Imagine if I would have done that and kept in touch with certain people in my career. There's one guy who actually is part owner of the Houston Texans.
Oh, wow.
There's one guy who ended up getting a DUI, killing somebody, and is in jail.
Oh. Okay.
And there's another one who's a congresswoman. So, some people have done well for themselves and some haven't. But looking at the alumni in the LinkedIn are something you can do. Google Sheets management, build a data-driven tracker that prioritizes personal contacts over cold applications. Again, we go back to who do you know in that job field? Who can you talk to? What job fairs are available? What applications or job offers are there, so you can go and apply to them. Okay, keep track of all that because you want to know if you've applied to a job before or not, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I told you, I applied for the job 3 times. I knew every time I applied, what job I was applying for specifically. And last but not least, informational interviewing. Use digital outreach to build a hidden network before you ever hit submit. Again, LinkedIn. I can tell you right now, I get added to a bunch of people at community college. You know, and LinkedIn tells you, hey, he's been here 25 years, and everyone says, congratulations on 25 years. You know, I've had people reply to me going, 25 years, I've never met you. You know,
Yeah.
but LinkedIn again is probably your most important aspect here. And we talked about those computer systems that read resumes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the keywords, guess what? You're not going to get hired. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. Make sure your resume is up to date. Make sure you keep networking, keep in touch with people in the field. You want to make sure all of that's taken care of before you start looking for a job. So when you do look for a job,
You already got it written down technically.
yeah, you already have the plan. Okay?
Okay.
Using your phone, apps, online stuff, you can go and you can put your resume into like, what's the other one? Like Glassdoor. Indeed.
Glassdoor.
No, Glassdoor is where you look. I was going to tell you about that right now. You can put your resume into Indeed, and they search your resumes. So if you're looking for a certain job, put it in Indeed, and it will search for it as well. Glassdoor is where you want to go and look for the job you want to hire. I mean, the company you want to get hired with, and look for the culture of the company, because employees actually review the companies on Glassdoor. So you can go to a job, like for example, that one job I told you about. I could have gone and researched it, and it would have been like, don't go here, too much drama, bosses suck, whatever, you know. Other places like, this is such a great place to work. It's the most amazing team I've ever worked with. And if I could do one for not say if I could, I just don't want to. But where I work right now, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, so.
But I mean, couldn't people put like false advertisement and say it's good, and then you go and then it's a waste?
Yeah, but.
And people could say
if you have
bad.
one person interviewing, not interviewing, in reviewing.
Yeah.
Nothing like. But if you have 100 people saying good and one bad, right? And I will tell you, when you think about Google reviews, I laugh. You know why I'm laughing about Google reviews, right?
Oh no.
I'm in the top 20% in Google reviews.
Yeah, you are.
So,
God, I swear.
I have one review that's been read like 6,000, 7,000 times.
Dang.
Yeah. When you look at a review of a job, not a job, a business, or you look at a review of a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the negative stuff, because you're going to read what the problems are. If the same problem happens, like for example, you want to go to a hotel for vacation, and they say this has roaches, bed bugs, a smell, an odor, whatever. Well, that could happen one time. The hotel fixes it, and it never happens again.
Yeah.
But if you read a review 1 month ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's all the same kind of bad stuff, that means they've done nothing to fix it. So it doesn't matter how good reviews are. If they've had the same problem over the years, that's not something you want to get.
What would be like the earliest review you would do if you saw a bad one? What would be the earliest one?
Well, I always do all the reviews and sort them by most recent.
And what would be like the...
I go back to a year. Because if there's only been one negative review in the last year, then it's probably a good thing. Because most people will complain about a negative situation.
Okay, and then whatever it was like a month ago in the whole year, it just started.
Then I wouldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
What about 3 months? I'd give it 3 months.
3 months is where I start asking myself, has it been fixed or not?
Yeah. But I haven't seen any reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know we've taken trips.
Oh, yeah,
for those of you that don't know, we've taken trips of 7 or 8 weeks. We've taken a couple, like we went to DC, Atlanta, St. Louis.
Then
It was a
did-
7.5 or 8 week trip. We did a 2-week trip to Las Vegas. We did a 2-week trip going to Dallas and San Antonio. We did a 2-week trip going to Colorado, Dallas, and San Antonio. Remember that one?
Yeah.
You know, so
And then during the 8 weeks, we also went, like, stopped by Louisiana, Kentucky,
Well, yeah.
Virginia. I mean,
yeah, we went to different places too. But
yeah.
the hotels I stayed at, I don't know if you remember our Airbnb we stayed at in D.C.
Oh, the upstairs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I had one at the mall, not the mall, National Mall, where the Washington Monument, the National Mall, not the actual mall.
You had
A reservation at the mall.
for Airbnb.
Yes,
Where would you even do that?
at
the mall?
at a condo in the area, in Georgetown, right there where we went on the freeway on our bikes.
I don't know how we were in that situation, but we were in there somehow.
No, the best part. Okay, we're riding the bike. I'm following the GPS. Apparently, the GPS is going on the street underneath the freeway, but we were on the freeway. A cop passed us. Didn't even stop to say what we're doing on the freeway. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
oh, Jesus.
It was on the on-ramp, like the on-ramp and then the freeway, and we were in the middle, like the white lines, so that like no cars would hit us, right? The cops go on the on-ramp and just pass us. They no question.
No question.
nothing.
Not even look at us. No lights. No nothing.
How do we even get back? We just
we
went
just turned
back.
around and went back down. Yeah.
Well,
Down. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. I had an Airbnb in Georgetown right there near the mall.
I didn't know that.
Okay. The lady who had the Airbnb lost her apartment because she wasn't paying rent. She got evicted.
Ooh.
Okay. So they gave us another hotel. The problem is that the hotel they gave us was 35 minutes away in a completely different part of the city. So we had to end up taking the metro and everything.
Yeah, it was like, how can I explain it?
Well, but
Compared to El Paso, that side of town would be like, what would you even call it?
Las Cruces.
Las Cruces, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was far away. But that's not the point of the story. I wrote a review about our Airbnb that we stayed at. We were on the 4th floor. Okay.
Fourth. We were upstairs. There was no 4th floor.
Yeah, we had to go up. Well, 3rd floor. Yeah, we had to go upstairs 3 times to get to the 3rd floor of the house. Anyway.
Really? That's crazy.
The heater and the air conditioner, I should say, was not working because it would not cool down our part. And the bottom floors would get too cold. They would turn off the air on us. And it was a horrible stay because we were always sweating when we were there because they wouldn't let us turn the air on because it would freeze.
I thought it was cold the whole time.
No.
In your room, you stayed in a room. That's why. I stayed on the couch.
Well, maybe, yeah.
So I had
well,
more airflow because I
maybe.
had.
I wish
the
you would have told me
stairs.
that back then. I would have traded with you. Anyway.
You would not have fit on the couch. It wasn't a futon. It was like actual couch.
No. It was a sofa bed. Connor.
I didn't sleep.
I would
on a
not have
sofa
put
bed.
you on a sofa.
I put myself on a sofa.
You did not want to open the sofa bed. I would have slept on the sofa bed. Okay.
No, you wanted the comfy bed.
No, I'm saying if
But,
it was a matter of heat or cold, I
That's
would have.
right, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It was a nice house though.
No, it was.
Like I didn't mind it at all.
But I had complaints, and then they had one refrigerator for, apparently there was all college students. So there was no room for us to put any food in there.
Yeah,
we couldn't use it.
I
It
would
was
say-
just, if you're going to do an Airbnb, do a verbal, get the whole house, don't get a room. I've learned that lesson. Except in St. Louis, we had a room with a really cool person. You remember the people in St. Louis?
Well, I forgot their names, but
What-
family, right?
No. The
Who?
2 single guys? The one who played the harp for the symphony?
The harp.
The harp, yes.
What harp?
A big-ass harp.
I know what a harp is. Okay.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we had an apartment, 2nd floor. We had a room all to ourselves. We had room in the freeze.
Oh, the
fridge.
tiny stairs on the right side.
Yes. That's the one.
Yeah. I don't remember much, but I remember the layout. Kind of. Yeah. I don't remember a harp though.
That was a great stay. And the guy even had a book on like where to go eat, and it was an
That's
amazing.
right. He was like not a food critic. Well,
He was a foodie.
but he did reviews also. Like he actually went out and did reviews on places. So yeah, I guess you could say he was a food critic.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's crazy. Wow.
So I gave him a great review.
Yay.
Okay, because I want other people to know where to stay. The people in DC, just so you know, they don't have their Airbnb. After that, they took it off the market.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because of my review or because they just decided not to do it anymore. But yeah, I wasn't happy. I was not happy at all. Anyway.
And we did have to take a lot of stairs. I'll say that. With our luggage, oof. I mean, all of the Airbnbs we had to take, like, stairs, up or down.
Well, when we went to St. Louis and we stayed in the Airbnb there, we had to take all our stuff because we were staying on the trip for 8 weeks. So we had to have a lot of stuff with us.
Yeah, and it was by the airport. Not by the airport, but, like, down the road. It was like a roundabout that had a sign to the airport. It was in an open field.
I don't know if it was near the airport, but it was near the zoo. So I don't know if look up the St. Louis Zoo versus the airport. I don't know where it is, but it was real near the zoo.
Yeah. Do you remember?
It was also near the stadium and the Arc and all that.
It might have been the stadium. I want to say the Arc.
I don't think it was the airport because we drove there. So.
But I'm saying like the Airbnb was close to the.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's closer to the zoo. I don't know where the airport is in comparison to the zoo.
All right. Do you remember, what's the airport even called?
It doesn't matter. Look up St. Louis. Look at the map for St. Louis and type in airport and see if it's near the zoo.
God, no.
No, it's not, right?
20 minutes away.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Anyway.
But we stayed by the zoo?
Yes.
Huh.
If you want to look it up.
Because I know it's by a roundabout. I'll say that.
Look up the gay neighborhood in St. Louis. Do you remember we drove in? There was like rainbows everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if that, if you can find that neighborhood like that. But it's near the zoo across the freeway. I know that much. Anyway, I'll tell you what, Connor. While you're looking that up, how about we take a break and we'll come back for our final burn?
Sounds great.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. marching line, marching line. Hey. Hey.
All right, welcome back from our break. That is our final break for tonight. And before we let you all go, I want to give you a final word of advice on our segment called The Final Burn. Your story is your resume. Make it a bestseller. You don't want to wait for opportunity to knock. Build the door and polish the handle yourself. You want to open the door. You want to knock on the door yourself. You want to open it. You don't want to wait for it to be open for you. What's so funny?
No, keep talking.
No, well, if it doesn't sound right, tell me.
That's because you're like, don't wait for the opportunity to knock. Build the door and polish the handle yourself. And then you were like, don't wait to knock. Build the door to knock. And don't wait for someone to knock. And you should knock for yourself.
Okay. Start over again on that.
Okay. Right.
Your story is your resume. Make it a bestseller. Don't wait for an opportunity to knock. Build the door yourself and open it. Don't wait for someone else to open it for you. All right? Start today because tomorrow belongs to the people who prepared yesterday. Ooh. I like that. Start today because tomorrow belongs to the people who started and prepared yesterday. All right? You want to make sure you don't wait for the opportunity. You want to take charge and you want to, don't wait for things to happen to you. You want to go out and do it. Now, I got to share with you a quick story. You know, I saw a comic thing this morning, and it said, you know, sometimes bad things happen to people.
A lot of bad things happen to people.
And the kid replied with, well, what do I have to do for the good things to happen to me?
Oh.
And that's how I look at this right now. Yeah, you may not get the jobs you're looking for, but are you doing the right things you need to do to get the job? Right? Yeah. So keep that in mind. And that's it for today. Connor, I want to thank you for the show. I hope you enjoyed today's show.
I enjoyed it.
You know, and I know a lot of you heard about our trips. If you have any questions about any of these trips, feel free to email us at murphman@purehottakes.com. You all have a good night or good weekend, I should say, and see you next week.
See ya.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you're looking for more, you can find all the best clips from the show on our social media pages. For all the links and more information about what we talked about today, visit purehottakes.com. And if you want to watch the full replay or get access to our premium content, subscribe now at stream915.com. We appreciate you tuning in.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.